and Doctrine Command Major General Kelvin Aligbe praised the late Chief of Army Staff as an extraordinary military leader. He noted that it was no surprise that Lagbaja was the only officer to command the battalion twice. Major General Aligbe, speaking on behalf of the 39th Regular Corps at the service of Song ceremony, reflected on their shared journey and recalled their commissioning as part of the 39th Regular Corps on September 12, 1987, when 199 officers cadets began their training to join the armed forces. He pointed out that from the beginning, Lagbaja stood out as a born leader. He urged the military community to embody the values of service and dedication that Lagbaja held dear. Speaking on behalf of the Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association, Bilikisu Ibrahim described Lagbaja as a man of faith whose spirit was rooted in devotion and conviction. The global president of St. Charles Old Boys Association, Tadi Adekunle, who read a poem written by a senior secondary school student of the school, described Lagbaja as an immortal hero.
Most sincere commiseration to the distinguished audience here gathered this morning in continuation of the series of activities lined up to honor the life and times of our late Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Abiodun Lagbaja, the 23rd Chief of Army Staff of the Nigerian Army.
The Supreme Court on Friday dismissed the suit instituted by 16 states of the Federation against the Attorney General of the Federation, challenging the constitutionality of the Act establishing Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and two others. The plaintiff had argued that the Supreme Court and Dr. Joseph Onwobike versus Federal Republic of Nigeria has held that it was an unconvention against corruption that was reduced into the EFCC Establishment Act, and that in enacting this law in 2004, the provision of Sections 12 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, was not followed. They argued that in bringing a conviction into the Nigerian law, the provision of Section 12 must be complied with. According to them, the provision of the Constitution necessitated majority of the state houses of assembly agreeing to bring in the convention in person before the EFCC Act and others, which was allegedly never done. While delivering judgment on Friday, Justice Uwani Abaji, who led the 7-member panel of justices, held that the EFCC Act, which is not a treaty but a convention, does not need the ratification of the Houses of Assembly. The Supreme Court dismissed the suit in its entirety and resolved the case against the plaintiffs. The court ruled that the NFIU guideline had not contravened the provision of the Constitution to manage the funds of the estate and resolved the issue against the plaintiffs. All other judges agreed with the lead judge, saying all the issues raised in the state suit had no merit and are accordingly dismissed. The National Judicial Council, under the chairmanship of the Honorable the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, GCON, as its 107th meeting of 13 and 14 November 2024, sanctioned 57 judicial officers for various acts of misconduct. Specifically, the Council has at meeting suspended Honorable Justice Aguma of High Court of Rivers State from performing judicial function for a period of 1 year without pay, and also placed them on watch list for 2 years thereafter. Also, Honorable Justice Uwabunike of Anambra State High Court has been suspended from performing judicial functions for 1 year without pay and also placed on watch list for 2 years thereafter. The Council also recommended 2 heads of court for compulsory retirement over falsification of age. The duo of the Chief Judge of Imo State, Honorable Justice T. Chukwuemeka Chinkeka, and the Grand Kadi of Yobe State, Honorable Kadi Babagana Madi, were recommended for compulsory retirement for falsification of their ages. The Council equally considered the report of its preliminary complaint assessment committee, which considered a total number of 30 petitions and paneled 6 committees for further investigation, while 22 were dismissed for lacking in merit, 2 were sub judice. Join us on the top of the next hour for more news. My name is Yoruba Miss Salako. Sport Edge is up next.